Hey, this is me. This guy's perspective right here. Okay. Well, anyways, I've had a different type of life. So, okay. Well, anyways, I've lived in Montana quite a long time. Anyways, okay, this is right after my wife passed away. I ended up kind of, I don't know. I just didn't want to go home. If I would have went home, bad things would have happened, and I don't want to think about it. Anyways, um, when I talk about double standard in Montana from Native Americans to other people, I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. I am not just. Oh, poor me. Oh, poor this guy. Poor little native. It's always looking at the color. No, I'm not. And the reason I say this is judge for yourself. I'm gonna tell you the story. What happened to me. And the perspective of what I want to say. I'll tell you. Okay. I was living in a shelter. I think it was, let me think. I think there was one native guy that showed up there during the morning that ate breakfast there. And a couple other more. Maybe three, all of us together. Not from the same reservation, not from this one. I think somewhere Fort Peck, whatever, whatnot. Anyways, but like I said, the good majority of it is white folks, Caucasians. Anyways, all right. I stayed there. I was there for maybe a month and a half, 2 months. People knew me. I was nice to people. All in all, I treat people with respect. If you respect me, I'll respect you. That's the way it goes. That's the way I think it should go, and that's the way I present myself. Anyways, there was this couple, scabby, dirty-looking couple, hillbilly folk. Man, girl had nasty. I think she had like nasty hair, and her boyfriend was this little tiny freaking 5'8", dirty hippie looking guy. Beard, just your run of the mill looking hippie, dirty hippie. Alright. Anyways, in a shelter they have these parts where it's called overcrowding. So when it overcrowds, they're just basically wherever you can sleep. Okay, so one day, and since I wake up every morning. I've been doing this for the last I would say I was here a total of almost 3 months. So this is like the fifth week, and I get up and make coffee every morning because every time I go in there, I make coffee. Someone make coffee and it sucked. It just tastes like water. Okay, so every morning I go make coffee, and so this one day, this couple shows up, and they're a couple. They're a couple. Anyways, what happens is I wake up one day, and we need a mop. We have chores in the morning. Okay, chores, in the morning, and now at this point there is overflow, meaning that in the main commons area, it's just a big opening. Opening all the way right here to the front door, kitchen area. Door goes back that way. Okay, so there's table, and then there's this little part where you can watch TV, right? And then there's the office. All right, so with that laid out, we have to mop and sweep that day. And for the last I think for the last week, everybody's been laying in the main area because there's no more rooms or beds available for anybody else. So now people are just making beds in the kitchen, in the commons area. And get this, okay, we're supposed to be up by 6 o'clock. Everything's supposed to be put away by 8, okay? No exceptions. And I don't know why, But for the last couple of days, these two, they've been sleeping right in the middle of the kitchen, right in the middle of the commons area, where everybody eats, where everybody, you know, right in the middle. All right. I don't know why, and maybe it's because of that white privilege type of thing. They sleep dead center in the middle of a cafeteria. You know, not by the wall, not kind of towards the corner, but dead center in the middle. All right, so you got all this area you can sleep in. They sleep right in the middle. Okay, right in the middle. Okay, like I said, doors like this. There's like the kitchen, like there's tables right here. Kitchen's right here. The door you go out that way, and then they got a little office here, and then they got a little kitchen. They're right here. They're right in the middle. Right in the middle. Two of them making a bed about big as a king size bed, laying right in the middle of the whole kitchen and whole cafeteria area. And I've been doing this for like a week now. And every morning, every morning I'd make coffee and they'd be laying in this middle part. Someone else would wake them up. And this particular day, I wake up. This particular day, all right, 92% Caucasian in this shelter, okay? You know, homeless shelter, whatever you want to call it. It's a shelter, okay? You got people coming in and out, but I've been there for almost like 5 months, five weeks. And in these last 5 weeks, they've had this dirty hippie couple that literally slept right in the middle of the eating area, living area. And we get up at 5. We're supposed to be moving by 8, okay? That gives you 3 hours, okay? But these guys have been laying in the middle of the area for the last week, waking up at like 8 o'clock. And I didn't realize that because I was hitting work about 7:30. So I'd eat, I'd make coffee, eat, go to work, because you can do that there. But I didn't realize that for a while. So for this one day, I wake up. This one day, I get up, make coffee. I was my day off. And it's like 8 o'clock. These two are still fucking sitting there sleeping. And I'm thinking like, who the hell are you to just be able to lay in the middle of the lay in the middle of the room? Well, and I'm not talking, and I'm saying this. There's about 14 people already up, moving around. Literally fucking stepping over these people. Like, no, not stepping over, but like moving around them. And who are these freaking people to make everybody else the exception? Are they the exception because they're two dirty hippies that what? I don't know. So I go over there. I'm native. So I'm like, hey, no, it's my day off. And I'm thinking, okay, well, we needed a mop and sweep. And I thought, well, I've been here for like a couple weeks now. I make coffee in the morning. I can help clean. I can do that type of stuff. In a shelter, I just want people to come together and do things so you don't have to be asked. And everybody should just join in when it comes to stuff like that. You live somewhere, you should clean it. You do something, you cook and clean, you should, if you don't cook or clean, you should help. And that's my thought, that's my feelings, things like that. Okay, so we're in a homeless shelter, doing that, okay? And like I said, it's my day off. I get up, make coffee, cook breakfast, because that's what I did here at the shelter. I made coffee and I cooked breakfast. And I cooked for like 15 to 20 people that showed up, so it's always a lot. And I always thought, okay, these guys probably up after I leave, because every time I leave, I'd always leave about 7:30. No, 7. It was early. And every time I left, they were laying there still. So I always thought, okay, well, they must get up and, And so anyways, this day, it's my day off, and everybody's just walking around them. And I'm thinking, oh, hell no, man, you all gotta get up. It's like almost 8. It's almost 8 o'clock. You were supposed to get up at like 7. You were supposed to move around by 7. But these two hippie Caucasians want to lay right in the middle of the floor while everybody else walks around them while they sleep. And I'm thinking, you know what? No, that ain't happening. Because the fact is now is I gotta mop and sweep. Alright, so I go over there. I like kick that girl in the. I kick her in the bottom of her foot. And I was like, hey, girl, you gotta get up. I was like, yo, y'all gotta get up. We gotta mop. And next thing, oh yeah, the dude ain't there. Next thing, fucking, I'm like, hey, girl, you gotta get up. I gotta mop and sweep. Like, if you don't have to wake up, but you gotta move. I'm like, you're in the middle of, and she's just like, she looks at me like with this terrified fucking look, like I just fucking whipped my thing out and stuck it in her mouth, fucking threw it in her face or some shit. Straight up. And I'm like, hey, and there's a whole crowd of us around us. And I'm literally like, hey, just move. I'm gonna mop and sweep. Next thing, a little dirty ass hippie boy comes showing up. And I'm sweeping. Next thing, he starts yelling and screaming at the top of his lungs. Who effing touched my wife? Who effing touched my wife? I'll kill him. I'll kill him. He was saying this. And I'm over there like, okay, first of all, I walk over. I look at him and say, hey, nobody touched your wife. And the way he was making it sound like I just got done saying. Like I fucking just stuck my shit in her face or something. And I literally was like, hey, nobody touched your wife. And he's looking at me like with his hands all fucking like this. I'll kill him. I'll fucking kill him. And I'm just like standing there. I'm fucking like ready to pounce on him. If this guy steps forward me, and I'm just looking, I'm like, hey, nobody did nothing. We need a mop and we need a sweep. And he's just like, I'll fucking kill him. Fucking touch my wife. I'm just like, and what burns me the most right now? Okay, you know what? Why I'm so angry when I tell this story is because if that was me yelling and screaming like that, the police would have already been called. That's straight up. The cops. I would never got to fucking sit there and yell and scream like that. At all. At that, if I would have threatened the whole community, I would have been sitting in jail. So, and everybody's just standing. That's what bugs me. You know, I stayed at this shelter for as long as I did, and ain't no one had my back at all. And I hate to say it, but they were all Caucasians. They're all white. They let some dirty hippie kid literally yell at me and threaten my life while they just all sat there and watched. And I wasn't nothing but good to each and every single one of those homeless people. And that's what gets me, man, is that if you want, I hope someone listens to this, because if I'm being a certain way and you're from Montana, you let me know if I'm wrong. That's what I'd like to know, if I'm wrong. If I was to jump up while sleeping on the ground, being a freaking obstacle for everybody else, and start yelling and screaming that I'm gonna kill y'all, I'm gonna kill you, and then make accusations of touching your woman, me making accusations of touching my woman, would y'all did that and just let me do that? Or would the police been called the minute I start screaming and yelling? That's what I want. That's my perspective on that one. And what gets me the most about that one is that I literally was like, and the worst part about all that is I'm sitting there thinking, you're so lucky. You're lucky you're white. Because if you weren't white, the police would already be here. If you're black, if you're native, especially if you're native in Montana, especially if you're one of me, Blackfeet, the police would have already been called. But because I don't know if y'all are like this, but this, like I said, this is my perspective of shit in Montana and things. Like I said, this is my whole perspective, so you're gonna hear what I think. And that's the reason I do this, is because if I'm wrong, I'd like to know it. Because that'd be nice to hear. That'd be nice to hear, to say something like, anyways, my perspective was, I wouldn't even been allowed back in that shelter after threatening me. If I threatened a white boy in that shelter, they would have already called the cops. They would have been like, oh, well, you're gone. And that was one of the factors. I sat there, looked at it, and kept thinking, that's why I said, I didn't fucking touch your wife. I didn't fucking touch your wife. Because the accusations right then and there was like sexual assault. And fudge that. Kicking a girl's foot, turning it into, you touched my wife around a bunch of white people, another white person yelling at me. Do you think they're gonna believe me? And this is how my hair was at the time. This is the way I looked at the time too. Maybe a little bit skinnier and a little sicker looking, but facts are facts. I'm telling you this because my perspective of things was, I would have never even got to threaten anybody. And while I stood there and I fucking said, hey, we're trying to mop and sweep, my perspective of that is, I was the only one that was willing to say anything to these two. But then everybody around me literally was cool with him cussing me out and threatening my life and making accusations of me. Not one of them looked at me and said anything to him at all. And that's what bugs me the most, is because I was good to these people. I was nice to them. I treated them exactly the way I wanted to be treated. And not one of them, and they were all Caucasian. And that kid who's yelling at me and his woman was Caucasian. And not one stepped up and was like, hey, at all. And what bugs me is like, if that was me, man, it would have been a whole different story. I would have got the police on me. I most likely would have been sitting in jail if I would even threatened anybody to kill them. But, to this day, man, I think after that, I don't want to be like this. After that, I quit cooking breakfast for him. I made coffee, but I made it exactly the way I made it. I never helped clean ever again. And though that hippie couple, he comes up to me and tells me later, oh man, my wife was fucking sexually assaulted. I don't give a fuck. I kicked her in the foot, dude. Do you think I fucking care? I didn't care anyways after that. But like I said, man, it's my perspective.